The Stone Age. Dun dun dun. Alright, so students, today we are looking at the Age of Stone, also known as the Paleolithic Era. So Paleolithic is the Old Stone Age. It started around 2 million years ago and ended around 8,000 years, or about 10,000 years ago. So Paleolithic Era, we have this time period of hominids, and we have early modern humans, so we have some Homo sapiens rolling about. There are also the remnants of certainly some Neanderthals rolling around Europe as well. But we have a variety of new features of society and a lot more evidence of how these people lived. So we're going to be looking at that today. So with the Paleolithic era, we have especially organization is starting to advance. We have people settling in large or moving in large places, especially where the land is very fertile. So we have people that are creating permanent shelters. They're not simply moving about, but for the most part they are what's known as hunters and gatherers. They are simply hunting for food and gathering crops. So they're not planting any fields, they're not growing any food like corn or anything like that. They're simply moving, following the animals, hunting those animals that they follow, and harvesting food as it becomes ripe. So they're picking up berries and fruits, any wild grains and other things. So they're being organized in fairly large groups, but the groups are mostly moving around. Now in these camps, they create perhaps not permanent settlements, but as they move across the land that they're on, they create camps that they can go to each year. And with these camps, they can start to be more comfortable, be more established, and in these communities they can be more efficient. So they can start being better protected, they can start making better items, such as these tools here, and these communities can really establish themselves and start to allow people to focus on things other than simply just survival. So we have tools that are being made both out of stone. So we have some stone tools here. That's why it is called the Stone Age, because humans were using stones. And we also have bone tools over here on the right. And as well as you saw that spear thrower in class, which was made out of the reindeer antler. We have the humans being able to use this stone and wood as well, and bone to make tools. And these tools are used for hunting, but they're also used to make life easier. So they could be used to gather crops. We could make baskets. We have these tools that are used to help your life improve. So, when you have people making tools, one of the cool things is you start to see some people are better at making than others. And here we start to see something called the division of labor. So we have these groups of hominids, for the most part Homo sapiens. They're moving around in large groups, settling in sometimes semi-permanent areas that they go back to every couple of years, and they start to specialize. And it's this idea of division of labor. So instead of everyone doing kind of the same jobs, you start to see with large groups of people being identified as being very good at making tools, very good at hunting, very good at building new structures. So with this division of labor, people start to have specific jobs. And the important thing about having specific jobs, if your only job is to make tools, like these arrowheads and needles, the middle one is a needle, that you see here in stone, if your only job is making tools, you're going to improve over time. So the quality and the advancement of tools, and certainly the lifestyle, is going to grow. If the hunters are always hunting, then they're going to become very good and skilled at providing meat. If people that are gathering are always gathering, they're going to be very good at recognizing where to find edible food and what is going to be good to eat. So this division of labor allows people in these groups to advance and become better at living. So you see images like this. Each one of this person in this image is doing a different task. So you have a person with an arrow, you have this guy holding up the rock who's going to be making some tools, you have some people carving bone pieces, you have a guy in the background on the back left who's making fire. You have this guy standing on the right looking fairly powerful and menacing who's probably doing some sort of guard duty. He has a spear, he has an axe. So with division of labor, you have people having a variety of jobs that help survival happen easier. So when there are people surviving, you have groups of people becoming more powerful, they start to come into conflict. So when everyone is doing so well in one area, you start to compete over resources. And when there's too many people in an area, people have to move. So we've talked about this out of Africa theory, but to show you a map with some dates. So 100,000 years ago, we're leaving Africa, moving into Europe. And from there, in the 65,000 years ago, starts spreading into Asia. If you look over in North America, 12 to 40,000 years ago, that's when people start moving over there. So when there is this competition for resources, that's what's going to cause the migration to happen. People either want to find something new and better, or they're being forced out by a more powerful group. So over 100,000 years, humans, by the 12,000 years, all the Neanderthals are gone, Homo sapiens have spread out. So this advancement, all this development in the groups is what's causing all of the people to move. And one of the big things that allows people to move easier is the Ice Age. And not simply a very entertaining movie, but an age of ice. If you look on this map, the white parts on the top are where we have a great deal of ice, glaciers moving in, areas becoming frozen. If you notice on North America, Cape Cod was certainly under a glacier. So while you might think that glaciers and frozen places might stop people from moving, in fact, since the people are fairly advanced by this point, we have them being able to keep warm, but also it allows them to walk over previously water areas. So places that you might not have been able to get to, like getting over to England, you can now walk across an expanse of ice. Places like North America, that is how humans, Homo sapiens, were able to get to this continent because we had a large frozen expanse in what's now Alaska that people were able to walk across. So the Ice Age, while certainly cold, helps this migration move more quickly, and you don't have to have people traveling on boats and other things. So with this Paleolithic era, humans, Homo sapiens, are advancing in their tools, in their organization, as well as in their movement.